Jose Wejebe, born in Cuba, came to the United States as a boy and soon after developed a legendary passion for fishing. The super successful guide, whose television show The Spanish Fly brought that passion to millions of viewers.
That is freaking beautiful!
His home and his home waters were in the Florida Keys, with their legendary inshore and offshore fishing.
Now that was fun.
But there were a handful of other spots in the world that Jose would adopt as second homes, because the fishing was that good.
Here he is, Jose! Here he is! Yeah! Woo!
One was Crooked Island in the Bahamas, a remote gem in the sparkling waters of the Caribbean.
Oh! That's a good one there.
Another was a vast and unique place known as the Louisiana Gulf Coast.
Now that's what I call a bite.
A place that serves as a fertile estuary and nursery for incredible numbers of sport fish and the marine life that sustains them.
Whoa, look at him in the water.
A place where you can wind your way through the twisting canals and trails of the marsh and catch incredible numbers of big redfish.
Say hello to Mr. Redfish.
Or you could venture offshore for bountiful tuna.
Oh, dog!
Insane!
Awesome, dude.
Insane!
It was an awe-inspiring fishery,
Look at that fish, bro.
huge in size, with seemingly endless opportunities.
Got him, Hose?
Got him, buddy.
Beautiful.
And it was the launching point for so many great adventures.
You know, it's an amazing area if you think of the whole Mississippi Delta and where it empties into the Gulf of Mexico, where you have these millions of gallons of fresh water dumping into basically a saltwater estuarine environment and then ultimately into a fully saltwater environment such as the Gulf of Mexico. In my experience, every place where that happens, you know, I think there's such an outpouring of nutrients from the mud that's collected upriver and deposited downstream, that nutrient is the first part of life. This is a lot warmer than running in the skiff.
Oh, yeah.
Much warmer. It's funny because a lot of people wouldn't think about coming fishing in Louisiana in January, February, in the wintertime when it's cold and stuff, but you're telling me that that's when the, you know, when the big fish and...
Prime time for the big fish is mid-October to mid-January. Usually in the middle of the winter, we have a predominantly north wind, so it allows our waters to clean up quite a bit.
I see. That's pretty cool. That's hilarious. It's like having a trailer on a boat.
Yeah. Yeah, we're definitely out in big fish territory.
There's a couple big fish right there. Yipes.
Good fish too. He's after it. Ooh, good fish. Good fish.
That's a good fish right there, bro.
Yeah, buddy. That's the ones you come for.
Full
Isn't
growed
it
up.
great though to sight cast them in that size fish?
My God. I'll tell you what, man, that is to see, look in the water and see those two tankers sitting there. Holy moly.
Good description, two tankers.
Dude, I'm like shaking. I'm telling you. Holy moly. You have got to be kidding me. That is what I call a redfish. Oh my God, bro.
And I'm telling you, the good part about this is you're 2 feet or less water. You sight
You're
cast
sight
it.
fishing for that thing. You gotta be kidding
Got
me.
him?
Yeah, got it.
And the good part about it, fish is not hurt at all.
Right, right.
We got to enjoy it and swim away and go offshore and spawn. And,
Yeah. Yeah, these are the brood stock right
That's
here,
right.
this size.
right. There he
There
goes.
you go. Bye-bye. Dude, that is spectacular. Thank you.
Did a great
Thank
job.
you very much, man. That's a big catch for me. Gotta love that thing.
Oh, yeah.
They are such an amazing fish, I think.
Louisiana became a favored destination for Jose Wejebe. Through the history of the Spanish Fly, he did 19 shows there, unlocking for his viewers the wonder and bounty of the Mississippi Delta and the northern Gulf of Mexico. 5 of those shows he did with his friend Rimmer Covington.
I met Rimmer about 3 years ago when I came down to fish with Peace Marble. You know, we were fishing out of Peace's boat. Rimmer was a deckhand, and I really related to Rimmer's story because, you know, I started much the same way in my guiding career. You know, I started diving tropicals and then was a deckhand and then got enough sea time to become a captain. And Rimmer went through almost, you know, the same process.
You know, I don't know if you knew this, but Rimmer won the chumming competition, the national chumming competition. Show him the behind the back move.
Oh, this one?
Yeah, see? Those are very important to know that. That's fish. Set him, go. Slowly get him out of that talon. Got it? Yeah, that's probably a little one. Nah.
I remember Jose, first time I ever saw him on television when he was running his old conch, and he had a Shimano trucker's hat on, long hair, and a killer mustache. Then shortly after that, I saw him whenever he came to Venice to fish with Peace and I. I was a deckhand at the time for Peace, and we ended up fishing at the Midnight Lump. And that's when I first met Jose in person.
Go for it, Peace. Go, go, go. Go, go. You got him. Tail up, good. Bring him up, part of the way. And up. Up and over.
Watch that rod, too.
Okay, I'm with you. Just leave him there for a second. That is a nice fish right there, bro.
That's a beautiful tail.
Wow.
Killer!
Good fish.
Every time Jose came to Venice, it never failed. This is what the weather was like.
No doubt. I remember last year when he came and we fished together, it was real bumpy that
Real
day.
bumpy.
And then we caught that front on the way in that totally rocked us. Remember
And
that?
especially cold.
Really cold and really wet.
That's why I wore these blue jeans today in honor of Jose.
That's what I'm talking about.
He's the only person that I know that considers blue jeans foul weather gear.
You're right about that. That's awesome. That's good stuff.
November of 2003, Jose came down here. That's when I first met him. And we caught some really nice yellowfin at the lump. I mean, it was just a phenomenal year. First place that Jose and I ever fished together, and you know, it'll be great for you and I to catch the last fish there too, you know?
No doubt. That would be awesome. That'd be fantastic.
To people in Louisiana, it meant a lot, especially the people in the fishing industry. Fishermen like me, we looked up, I mean, he was kind of like a mentor in the industry, and it meant a lot that he came down here and tried promoting what we have. He really loved what the Cajun people are about, what Louisiana's about. The great fishing, the culture here, and of course, our good food.
All right, you just got picked up by something, I believe. Here's the bite. There he is. Well, Eric, a bit.
What you think you got there, buddy?
Well, buddy, nice to finally bend a rod, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Amberjack, huh?
Yeah. Nice fish, man.
Look how big and fat this dog is, man. Big old amberjack from the Midnight Lump.
Now, I've only seen Jose sit down from being so tired from fishing one time.
It was when he fought one of these?
About 10 of them in a row. And he said, "Net, no mas."
Let me see if I can turn this
Down he goes.
dog loose.
There he goes. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir,
Appreciate that.
The story of the redfish in the Louisiana marsh really is one of the more successful conservation stories that there are. Basically what happened was in the 70s, the federal government created monies for commercial fishing in Louisiana. There was a thought then there was an unlimited resource here that wasn't being used. And with that money, all of a sudden processing plants came into the state. Commercial netters from all around the country came into the state, and their target really was redfish because it was an underutilized species. At the time, really, there was no market for the redfish. The federal government was pushing the commercial fishermen to fish for them, basically saying that they would create a market for those fish if they could catch them. Right about the same time, there was an oil glut. So all the oil workers that were working on the derricks out in the Gulf of Mexico suddenly had no jobs, and the natural thing for them was to go to commercial fishing, which was now the new industry in Louisiana. Introduced Paul Perdone, who was a Louisiana chef, and black and redfish soon became, the craze all around the country. Restaurants all around the country were ordering redfish from Louisiana. But then a couple factors that kind of happened simultaneously really started affecting the fisheries. There were more netters coming into the area. They were using spotter planes to locate these huge schools of broodstock redfish. And so the following spring, when the sportsmen went out to go fishing, they literally had no fish to catch. And so for the first time, all of a sudden, Louisiana realizes that the resource may not be unlimited. Go forward about 3 years, and finally the spotter planes locate huge schools of redfish way out in the open Gulf. They bring in the netters, they encircle this whole school of redfish, but they can't literally bring it onto the boat because it's too big. They open their nets and dump 50 tons of dead redfish back out into the open Gulf. So that day in 1986, the same time this netting is happening, Dave Hall, who was a federal U.S. Fish and Wildlife field agent, got in a plane with a camera, went out there and filmed the whole travesty of these, netters actually dumping all these dead redfish back in the Gulf. So with that videotape and with that story, he brought it back to the public eye, and the public outcry really was that first impetus that got the ball rolling towards management and conservation of redfish as a resource. Commercial fishing was closed, there were bag limits put on the sportsmen, and slowly the resource rebounded. So over the last 30 years, redfish now have become really one of the most important saltwater inshore species available. And really it's one of the greatest success stories in terms of management.
One thing that Jose was very adamant about was conservation. With such a bountiful fishery, it's hard to believe that you can deplete that resource. And he gave me specific examples of other places where that's happened.
Promise we ain't gonna blacken you.
Jose had his home was the Florida Keys, and that was his home base, and it's obvious why he did the things he did for the Florida Keys. It was his home. But he was never shy to kind of reach out and see other regions and help them out as well. And Louisiana was one of those situations.
Every redfish is a beautiful one.
After Hurricane Katrina, Jose came here with the intention of promoting the area and the people, and to let everybody know that we were back in business. And these stories of resilient people from South Louisiana and Mississippi are real.
After Hurricane Katrina came, and then the oil spill after that, Louisiana had taken quite the blow. And at the time, Jose had a voice. He had a public, who would listen to him and who would respect him, and fishermen all around.
I want to introduce you to Mr. Redfish.
People were amazed at how good the fishery really was after the oil spill, and that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to kind of show a boots on the ground thing. While there was all the ambulance chasers running around trying to get the pelicans with the oil on them and all this, and yes, it was horrible, and the hurricane was horrible, but the fishery was still alive, and the people of the area still had to make their living, and they still had a great offering for the public. And Jose wanted to show that to everybody. And through his television show and through his Facebook audience, he brought that message forward the best that he could.
He had no idea, I really don't think he did, as to how much he really helped. And I mean, just after one of his shows would air, people would call from all over the United States, not only to me and to everyone around us here in Venice, but to many, many other people that were affected by such a broad disaster. Got him, Hose?
Got him. Beautiful.
It's hard to believe we're just, 15 miles away from where that wellhead that everybody saw on national television spewing oil out for 100 days was just 15 miles over that way.
Unbelievable. Look at the water. It's cobalt blue.
Blue marlin, bait all around the rig. It's a good sign, man. Makes me feel good.
Yeah.
Makes me feel real good deep inside.
Yep. You know what? It's amazing. I think sometimes Mother Nature surprises you. How resilient she can be.
No doubt.
Bear and I go back a ways. We met some time ago, kind of got together and talked about going to Louisiana where, Bear is really proficient at fishing. We did a couple shows down there in the marsh, fishing giant redfish in the middle of the wintertime. And I just thought it'd be kind of a cool point-counterpoint sort of thing to get a guide from outside the area and fish the same bodies of water and kind of see the fishery through the eyes of what we call an import guide, somebody from the outside that has come into the flats and the Keys and learned it. And that guy is Brian Holman, AKA Bear Holman. Got him? Woo-hoo-hoo! That's my backup boy back there. What's up, dude? You happy?
Yeah, man. Always happy. Always happy. Have one of these guys pulling on the other end.
Tell me that isn't a beautiful creature. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Look at that.
Right?
He's a lot bigger than I thought he was.
Permit. Mr. Permit. I'd rather you catch them than I catch them. That's the truth.
Jose, think you can do something about this situation we got going on here?
Come on, buddy.
Although I know this is how you like it. Windy, rough, fishing's hard. Don't ever make it easy on us, ever. Can't come in the summertime. He would never listen to me. Please come in the summertime whenever the fishing's always wonderful. The weather's always great. Oh no, little buddy, can't make it. Can't make it till November. Why November? Why do you like coming to Louisiana in November? Well, the reason you love coming to Louisiana in November is because the fishing in November can be off the charts, spectacular. The only problem is the weather is so unpredictable. You got him, brother? Looks like it. Tell you what, man, look at that moon, dude.
It's good
Awesome.
stuff. It's pretty.
Good way to finish off the day right here,
No doubt, man.
We've worked hard today. That's very grouper-esque, huh? Red snooper.
Big red snooper.
You know what? I don't think I ever saw anybody go as nuts over red snapper as Jose did, you know?
Really?
Man,
I love them, huh?
he could sit there with a butterfly jig and catch 8 to 10 pound snappers until his arms fell off. I think it was like in his blood or something. Oh man, red snapper, dude. The great American red snapper. I think anyone from the northern Gulf of Mexico can tell you there's no shortage of population.
Nope.
But they're so beautiful, man.
It's a beautiful
fish. I mean, just, Jose loved these fish. Absolutely loved them.
Losing Jose, for everyone's personal reasons, was horrible, but the fishing industry, it was really bad. I mean, we need people like Jose out there. We really do. We need guys out there promoting fishing to the younger generation, We need the younger generation fishing. We don't need them playing Game Boys and, all these crazy games. I mean, we need people putting rods and reels in their hands.
He did so much for the people in our area. And he did so much for all of his friends. And he did so much for me. Him taking such a passionate approach to promoting our fishery in our area helped us to be where we are today.
And having spent time in Louisiana after a natural disaster like Hurricane Katrina, and having spent time in Louisiana after a man-made disaster like the Deepwater Horizon oil spill, what I see is that Mother Nature seems to survive and carry on in spite of those things, and the resilience and the spirit of the Cajun folks in the area seem to rebuild even better than before. And so what I've seen from the boots on the ground perspective is that this place still remains one of the best fishing spots in the world.